Well, here's a question I'm getting asked a lot lately. Rob, I would like to sell my house, but I am terrified to sell during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm very concerned about strangers coming in my home. And I want you to know I get that 100%. We've been deemed an essential service, so real estate can move forward. But I think the answer is you can sell your house and we can reduce the risk of your safety dramatically if we follow the steps I'm about to explain. Now, some of this might be common sense and that you already know, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Number one, we're asking sellers, please leave all the lights on in your house when there is a viewing. Leave all the doors open, closet doors open, so that we don't have to touch anything. What I've been doing is putting on a set of gloves, and when I leave that particular home and go to another one, those gloves get thrown out, a new set of gloves get put on. And I'm also hand sanitizing every time I show a property. Once I leave that house, even when the gloves come off, I hand sanitize. I'm married to a nurse, so it's kind of extreme in my household to take all these extra precautions. But that being said, to me, that just makes a lot of sense. The less we have to touch anything, the better. Now, the Calgary Real Estate Board has put out a form here, and I'm so glad that they did, because we're asking buyers these specific questions. Here they are. Number one, have you or anyone in your house traveled internationally in the past 2 weeks? Yes or no? Have you been in contact with anyone in the last 2 weeks that has tested positive for COVID-19? Yes or no? Do you currently have any symptoms of COVID-19, including but not limited to a fever, dry cough, or flu-like symptoms? Yes or no? Have you or anyone in your house tested positive for COVID-19? Yes or no? Are you or anyone in your house awaiting test results for COVID-19? Yes or no? So we're asking buyers to answer these questions and sign. And if in the unlikely event that a buyer has answered yes and they still want to go look at homes, number one, the agent probably should refuse to work with them. But if they were to consider working with them, then we send this off to the seller, and the seller is going to review this, and they have the legal right to decline the showing. Fortunately, I don't think we're finding hardly anyone, if anyone, that's even answered yes that wants to go look at houses. I think the good news is right now is the buyers that are going to look at homes and going through these hoops, they are serious about buying a property. They're motivated, and they know this is very difficult to be buying a home with trying to deal with all these questions and precautions that we have to take. So anyone that's willing to go through that is quite serious about buying a home. Now, I'm a really big believer in let's minimize the showings as much as we possibly can by properly displaying the home online. If we do a really good job of allowing buyers to see what that home looks like online, to me, more than likely, if it looks like there's a home that doesn't work, then they don't have to do the showing at all. And I'll give you an example. I recently had a home listed that was a 4-level split. And I had a showing request recently during the COVID pandemic. And I said to the buyer's realtor that wanted to book the showing, has your buyer looked at our 3D imaging technology online? Have they walked through all of that? And he said, no, we'd only looked at the photos. I said, well, let's have your buyer look at that first, and let's decide if that buyer still wants to see the home. Well, as it turned out, as they looked at the 3D imaging, which I'm about to show you, they determined that the home had too many stairs and it wasn't going to work. Perfect. There was no reason to have the showing. We just minimized a showing that we didn't have to have. So let me just walk you through here and show you what we're doing for 3D imaging. This is a condo that I recently had on the market in Canmore. It's a kind of a beautiful condo, but you can see that I can take my mouse and literally just move around the entire room, and I can focus in on just about anything I want by doing a 360 of this room. Some of you have maybe used this technology before, but what really makes it attractive is if you look over here, you can see I've clicked on this green dot, and so it allows me to look into the living room, and it gives people a much better perspective because you can actually see the floor plan. So when you're looking at the photos on the right side of the screen and seeing the floor plan on the left side of the screen, you have a much better understanding of how the room looks. So if I now click the kitchen, I get a real good close-up here. I can see the backsplash, I can see what the counters look like. I can have a really good look at the stove. That's a gas stove, and I can see that very clearly. If I wanted to go into the 5-piece ensuite here, I can have a really solid look at the kind of tile that's being used in the shower, and right down to a good view of the toilet and the sinks, the flooring. I mean, this is walking through the house, and still, like I said, if you look at the floor plan on your left, you get a really good sense of the room sizes and how the layout is. And this is what I've been doing to ask every buyer, please look at this, look at it carefully, really determine, does this property seem like a property that really seems to check all your boxes? And if it does, great. We're going to make the showing happen. But we want you to look at this first, because there's no point in having the seller go through all of this extra work and putting all the lights on, having a little bit of anxiety about someone coming through their home, probably still going to come home and sanitize the house again anyway, just for your own peace of mind. So it's a tremendous amount of work for a showing. But if you're selling your home, you want a quality buyer to come in who's maybe looked at this kind of detail before they've come and said, yes, I still want to see this home. It looks like something that I would consider buying. And that's what I'm doing for my listings. And it seems to be working. And like I said, we have a lot less showings, but the showings we do have are really high quality. So if you want more information on how this works, you can even just book a video chat with me, and I'll explain exactly what we're doing and using all of the different techniques that I just give you a little bit of a glimpse of, and I'll show you a few more if you book a video chat, and maybe this is the right time for you to sell your house.